A strange new secret lair that comes in a mysterious red box has just been leaked. And the cards that come inside this secret lair are pretty out there.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings! Owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends, I hope the day finds you well. We have gathered to discuss the newly leaked secret lair. This right here is an oddity indeed. Obviously, first of all, the fact that it comes in a red box immediately gets your attention. Secondly, there has been no technical official announcement of this secret lair, but obviously it's made its way out into the public. So this seems to be a kind of a leak that Wizards of the Coast is most likely behind. Now, the concept of this secret lair, you can see on the box here. There is the triple exclamation mark and the letters MSCHF. So, MSCHF is actually Mischief. That is an artist collective, and they are the ones responsible for the cards in this secret layer's artwork / concepts. So, with no further ado, let's go ahead and get the cards up on the screen to take a look at. So as you can see, we have 6 different cards here, and they are quite a lot to take in all at once. So starting in the upper left-hand corner, we have Blood Moon. And you'll notice there's a lot of details that go into the card. You have the triple exclamation mark, that is the trademark of the Mischief group. You have a number of different things kind of giving you the aspect of a stock market. You know, you got like a little $ up at the top above the Blood Moon. You've got what looks like a stock ticker, little graph lines. And there's something else that gives it that feel in terms of the flavor text, where it says, the same astrological influences that govern individuals apply to companies, which are, after all, composed of people and legally considered person-like entities. So honestly, when I look at this card, I'm like, maybe those bars are supposed to represent something about the stock market. Maybe they're supposed to represent buildings. I don't know. But this is a wild concept for a Magic card. And you just happen to have, what, the moon and Earth, or 2 different versions of the moon? There's a lot going on. When it comes to looking at these cards, it feels like there's a fair bit to unpack. So let's not forget the fact that Blood Moon on its own as an actual Magic card is a very potent and desirable card. 1 red and 2 for an enchantment that turns all non-basic lands into mountains. So great if you're playing mono red. It's a fantastic hoser when you're playing against decks that have all kinds of non-basics, and it's a card that has a significant amount of value on the secondary market, which is always nice to see in a secret lair. So moving on to the card that we have beside it, we've got Grim Tutor. This one also has a ton of little details. I'm sure there's things that I'm not picking out because we only have this one image with the cards taken from one static angle, right? So what are you gonna do? You've got a little Skeletor there in the middle. He's got an hourglass and his little stone tablet. It says, nothing is sacred. There's a cup over there, stone carvings all over the place. So it's Grim Tutor, and Grim Tutor is a spell that allows you to search your library for a card, put that card in your hand, then shuffle. You lose 3 life, and it costs 2 black and 1. And if you weren't aware of where the casting cost is, just take a look at the name Grim Tutor that is stretched across the top, move down a little, and to the right. It is kind of tucked in there. I love the amount of detail. Look at the little skeletons that are reclining down by where the rarity symbol would be, and you've got an hourglass down there. These are the kind of cards that I really want to see a high resolution version of. It's the kind of stuff that when you see it in person, it's going to impact you differently, right? Because there is a particular style of foiling that is going on here too, that is difficult to pick up from these images. But what are you going to do? This is literally from a Twitter post, right? So you got a situation where you take what you can get, and when you're like me, you're always ravenous for new magical cards. And so here we are. Let's talk about another magical card, Swords to Plowshares. I gotta say, looking at that specifically, it really just kind of makes me think about how far we've come in Magic the Gathering, right? Like, I started back in the day. Swords to Plowshares was like still in print when I started playing, and it was it was from the original set of the game, right? So you have it with this really basic looking little, I'm a farmer, I'm just here to do some farming in the artwork. And now you have this sort of intense, looking almost like a poster style card, where you got the swords to plowshares all stylized up at the top. You've got 3 blades. One of them says in the middle, we shall melt them in fire. I love it. It's random. There's just a sword that says, we shall melt them in fire, right? And then the actual card itself is 1 white for an instant, exile target creature, its controller gains life equal to its power. And it's funny that by today's standards, everybody knows Swords to Plowshares is a incredibly reliable card. But back in the day, people didn't want to give your opponent life. They were just like, I like it, but I really don't like giving my opponent life. Nowadays, you understand that a card like this is absolutely solid. Now, Swords to Plowshares isn't high on the value scale, admittedly, but anything that comes in a Secret Lair has a floor as well, right? So overall, so far the choices, Blood Moon, Grim Tutor, Swords to Plowshares, you're not making out too bad. Now, the next choice is a bit weird. We're getting one from the MSCHF block, and that's Cut to Ribbons, and it definitely has, again, another distinct style. These cards are all very different from each other. A lot of Secret Lairs have a theme that spreads across the entire Secret Lair, whereas this one clearly is going all over the place. So Cut to Ribbons is one of those cards where it's a split card. You play the first half when it's in your hand, and you play the second half from the graveyard. It's got Aftermath. So the cut side of it, or half of it, is 1 red and 1 for a sorcery, and it says cut deals 4 damage to target creature. So it's pretty decent, you know what I mean? It's not too shabby. And then you've got the Aftermath side, and the Aftermath side is Ribbons, and that's 2 blue and X, and that's each opponent loses X life. And actually, you know what? Now that I'm reading the Ribbons part, this is one of the better split cards. I was thinking about a different card originally when I looked at this. So again, it's not super hype for me that this is from the MSCHF block, but this is better. This is a better card than I thought it was. So this isn't too shabby. And the artwork is funky, right? On the cut, you've got somebody who's garbed in black garments. You've got black swords against that kind of white sun or moon behind them. And then you've got the same kind of sword theme, but on ribbons, they're all driven into this individual who's wandering along and has white garments instead of black. I don't know. I like the contrast. I'll be real. It's not like I know a ton about art. So, this is made by an art collective. Maybe different people did different cards because it doesn't credit anybody in particular. It just credits the group. So I don't know, man. I mean, anything can be art, as we will prove when we talk about this Plains. This is now the most ridiculous Plains in Magic the Gathering by a very, very long margin. I mean, you look at this thing, and it's a golf course with a white mana symbol on it, and it's got this weird sort of bolted extended porthole, maybe a window out of a bus or something like that. It's like you're looking out of a bus at a golf course, and here is a mana symbol. This is absurdist. If you look at this compared to all the other cards, this is the one that people would say, bro, you made this. Come on, man. You made this at home yourself. You know what I mean? That's the level we're looking at. Now, Secret Lair is the place for that kind of stuff. So it's a perfectly viable choice to put it here. But it is this is insane. This is the most insane plane in Magic the Gathering by a huge margin. But I have to say, I dig it. I don't know exactly what it is, probably because it just looks like a fan-made card. You know what I mean? It looks like something you would see somebody who's new to Magic posting on Reddit going, I love Magic and I love golf and I made this Plains. And then they post it and all these people downvote on Reddit and say mean, hateful things because this is the internet. And that's what you get for liking something right now. That's the level. Anyhow, it's amazingly ridiculous. I like it. Let us move on to the final card, Teferi's Puzzle Box. So, Teferi's Puzzle Box is a 4 casting cost artifact, and it says at the beginning of each player's draw step, that player puts the cards in their hand on the bottom of their library in any order, and then draws that many cards. So this is a great thing if you want to be drawing a ton of cards. It can also be used in really, really unpleasant strategies where you stop your opponent from drawing after you make them get rid of their hand. It's like, players can't draw. You can't draw more than one card. Oh, put your whole hand at the bottom. You only get to draw one card because of Narset or some silly nonsense like that, right? So there is evil stuff you can do with Teferi's Puzzle Box. Now, Teferi's Puzzle Box also falls into the category of cards that are more worthwhile on the financial side of it. So Blood Moon Grim Tutor and the Puzzle Box are the majority of the value for this secret layer, and it's a decent amount of value. The artwork's cool. You know, you've got this box and it just says sealed and secured, the way you want your Magic cards. This is how I want my Magic cards delivered. And then you've got all these crazy cube lines emanating out of it. Man, every single card here looks wildly different. Anyhow, that's all I had to say about that. Hopefully we'll get high-res pictures of these to enjoy them in the future. Thanks for coming by. Big thank you to all my patrons. If you haven't already watched it, go watch today's spoiler video for Innistrad Crimson Vow. There's a lot of cool spoilers. And actually, I'll just put the whole playlist up. Go enjoy them all. See you over there. Bye for now.